Shalom, brother and sister truth seekers. We're starting to get close to the seasonal transition and the important confirmation of our Creator's times per Genesis 1:14. He put those lights in the heavens for signs, for seasons, for days, and for years. The beginning of a new year is quickly approaching, and there's sundial effort going on, people all over the world, and I just want to make a special announcement for the Covenant Calendar group. If you've never heard of them, Covenant Calendar Club, Covenant Calendar Classroom, they've been really digging into this for the past year and training a lot of their members to learn how to use sundials and work together to try and answer the question of where the Creator's international date line is going to land this year. I mean, there was a lot of data from their group and just from other truth seekers around the world collecting sundial data last spring, but over the summer and last fall, a lot of the Covenant Calendar Club members were working really hard practicing. They wanted to practice on an Equinox event, so they would be ready in the spring. So they were practicing last fall, and the hope is they're going to be ready this spring. But of course, the more people that do this, the better, because the Creator's international date line, it just shifts every year, it seems. Like it has something to do with the extra 365.2 days, like that 0.2, 0.25, whatever it is. Like the sun, in order to finish its full cycle, it ends up shifting like 25% of the map, like every year. So, I mean, we've been watching the progression, and the more people doing this, we're able to kind of see the progression of the Creator's international date line. And last spring, it looked like it was somewhere around the central United States. And then that was last spring. And then last fall, it looked like it had already shifted as far as like the West Coast. And it's looking like for this upcoming spring, it may shift out all the way across the Pacific Ocean. So, I mean, people in Australia will especially want to be paying attention with their sundials this year. And like Africa too will be an important confirmation. Anyone, I think a lot of people are going to be paying close attention and hoping for good results from people with sundials living anywhere between like the western United States and pretty much the eastern Africa. Anyway, so the Covenant Calendar Club, I just wanted to help mention that they had this project going on. Of course, anyone can participate. But I'm just going to flip through their email. We'll do a more detailed job of putting the word out and like practice information and tips for people who aren't, very experienced with this. But they put this little letter together to, I guess, everyone and some of their members, just talking about the project, ultimately trying to confirm where the Creator's international date line is this year. They're pointing out here in this graphic last year that there was no sundial data collected in this zone that they have the question mark in. Like it was to the west of this zone that the straight line was seen for the first time last spring, and then everyone west of that location was seeing it all the way until the sun crossed over the international date line. Then the date flipped, but people were still seeing the straight line following the people who saw it in the western United States, even though it was a different Gregorian date because of that funky man-made international date line out in the Pacific Ocean. But anyway, it circled all the way around to the eastern United States, and I was actually one of the ones in West Virginia who ended up seeing the straight line kind of at the end. We were one of the last people who saw it. So anyway, but like there was no one who collected data in this zone, so there were questions of which day should be the first day of the year. Hopefully, I've never seen the Creators International Dateline land in the middle of a landmass like it did last year, so it was a little tricky last year. But this year, I have a feeling it might be a little easier. I think it might land somewhere out in the Pacific Ocean, but there's a chance it might make it all the way to Australia. So it's just nothing beats being able to make the confirmation with your sundial yourself. Like, we can work together as a team around the world, and if we're doing the best we can, I know the Creator's going to honor that. But I know if you try, it'll bring you a lot of peace to know if you've made your own confirmation. But anyway, yeah, so they put this letter together. Again, the question is, where is the international dateline going to be this year? They're talking about how much it moved. You can pause this and read this if you want. Just encouraging you and as many people as possible to collect data. Some people might have clouds or whatnot, so it's just good. As many people as possible to do this, the better. And particularly, they're planning to send this letter out to the group of their members out in the South Pacific and Africa areas, because this is kind of the region where it looks like the Creators International Dateline might land this spring. So they're sending a special message out to the people who live in these areas, and they've got some good tips here. Again, if you pause the video, you can read through some of these. Just good things to keep in mind. I have another video that I also put together, kind of a short, comprehensive little checklist of things to keep in mind as you're collecting sundial data. But we'll be doing a better job of, having some live feeds and just trying to help everyone get prepped for this upcoming event. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at avoiceoftruthandlove@gmail.com, or there is a Facebook group, I think it's called Solar Observations, Confirming the Creator's Times via Genesis 1:14. Maybe it's Solar Observations Tracking, I forget. But that's just wanted to make a quick presentation about this. They're going to be ramping up their efforts. I think they're going to be starting to talk sundials in some of their upcoming Sabbath meetings. So if you want to try and find them, I think they have websites and stuff. Covenant Calendar Club. You can kind of join in the discussions if you want, or listen in. But they have Zoom calls, and I think on the 24th and the 2nd they're planning to start prepping people for the upcoming seasonal transition. Other than that, I lost my page. How do you like that? Well, I did want to show you, there is a video that I did that you should check out if you're new to sundials. This one right here, right in the middle of the screen. Let me put it right at the top here. So it's tips for confirming an equinox event with a sundial, 27 minutes long. But I mean, it pretty much everything that I've learned in these past years of collecting sundial data, I try to summarize in a little presentation there. So I recommend checking that video out, and just stay tuned. We'll be trying to get people excited about this, and we'll be doing live updates as much as possible as we get closer to the events. I'm hoping, some people like Juan Carlos will be collecting. He usually does an excellent job, and I mean, there are a lot of new people going to be trying it as well, but the more people that does it, the better. So, please stay tuned, and feel free to also check out that Facebook group, either this YouTube channel, Faith Child, or that Facebook group I mentioned. I try to do live feeds as much as possible on this stuff. So stay tuned. Shalom, and may Allah bless you as you continually seek out His truth in love with a pure heart.